Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another motivational video of building a house here in Ghana. If it's your first time on this channel, my name is Gigo, and this particular project is called the Aburi Project. So, in our previous episode, we looked at the plumbing and the electrical work, for the decking. And in today's episode, we will be focusing more on the concrete casting, and also we will get to look at the final cost of this decking, right? I mean the completion of the final cost, because we are done with the decking. So I can put out the figures how much it costs to, for the whole decking of this four-bedroom house with one guest, quarters at the back. We will also look at the total cost for the whole house. From buying of the land and all the documentation will also come. So make sure that you stay till the end of today's episode. And if this project interests you and you like to see more about it, you go to my Aburi Project, my playlist. You will see how we started. You will see the figures, so at every stage how much it costs. And I think this project, we started this project around 2022, right? So it's been, let me say, getting to 3 years now. And this is the beauty of building your own house. You take your time, step by step, and then you get things done, right? So as the guys are doing their thing, we've done this several times on the channel, so I won't be explaining what is happening in the video. So I think we should move straight to the cost, right? So in our previous episode, I came with a cost breakdown, right? I posted it, but then as I said, getting to the end of the video, that we were not able to do the decking in just one day. It took us 2 days, but that estimate was based on a 1 day work. So meaning we'll have increase in the labor work, right? Because the second day also took us almost the whole day. It wasn't a half day job, it was like almost the whole day. So that means that we have to pay double of the machine work, right? The machine work, and also double of the laborers, like the guys that are pouring the sun and everything, also has to be doubled. And we also bought some few materials also, which is the cement. Yeah, we have to also top up the cement. So in the my previous episode, the total materials was like 121,625 Ghana cedis, and then the labor was 32,000 Ghana cedis. Like roughly that was the price. But as you'll be seeing very soon, the current price for the materials was like 142,725 Ghana cedis. So that was the increment of, when we have to do it double. And then the labor jumped from the 32,000 to 38,275 Ghana cedis. So these are some of the costs that sometimes you have to make a provisional for, especially when it comes to decking, right? Because you never know how it will go. And when we are doing the estimates, we look at a day's work, but maybe we are not able to finish the same day. We have to go to the next day. But if the project is big, then that we can make that provision. But looking at this from the beginning, we thought it will be done in one day, but it wasn't possible. It wasn't possible to do it in one day. But that's also because the mixture ratio, is different, right? Like I said, we have a splash pool upstairs. So the area of the splash pool and also itself needs a different, ratio, because it has to be very rich. Like we said, it's going to contain water. So, we have to make it very strong, right? And we also add Dr. Fixit to it also. You'll be seeing later in the video. So this was the end of the first day. This was the result. So this is one day after the concrete casting, and this is how far they were able to go with one day, right? I would say it's almost, I mean, it's almost half of the work, right? It's almost half because they have to spend more time with the swimming pool, with the splash pool, right? They have to spend more time here, make sure that everything is done. And I know someone will say, why didn't we cast, the splash pool now? But that's because we need to board all round, and I mean that costs wood, right? The plywood that costs the plywood, and so it's much better that when after 21 days, when the whole concrete is done, we can take, the woods that we have underneath the decking and use that because I mean it saves cost, right? When we are done with the decking, we are not going to use the wood anymore. I mean, we also rented some of the metal plates, but the owner also have his own personal wood that we use for the first floor, casting. So I mean, this is another way of saving costs, and I mean, if we should do that also, then I won't be sure that we'll be able to finish the whole work in 2 days. Maybe we have to extend it. So I mean, later he would take his time, get his own boys to bring the sand and stone upstairs, and then get it done, right? Easy. I mean, when it's time to do this kind of concrete work and you have the machine on site, it is very busy. It's very busy. So some of the course is better you skip it, for another day because it will be heavy, right? Doing everything at once, right? So this is the current cost estimate, and I mean the final one, right, for what you'll be seeing at the end, of today's video. This is the total cost. So you can take your time to pause the video and go through the list. But I would say that if you just want to do your normal decking, I think the electrical was too much. The plumbing was also too much because of I mean, like I said, the pool takes a lot of those material cost and also the labor cost. So maybe let's say if you take 10% out of it, that will be your normal concrete casting, or let me say maybe 20% out of it is possible. Maybe 20% will be good if you take 20, and that is Dr. Fixit for you, right? I mean, I know you've heard it so many times on the channels, but you've never seen how it looks. This is it. I think we use 3 buckets, for this project. And someone will ask, do I need it for my decking also? The answer is maybe, right? So we are using it because the top is going to be open. It's going to be a rooftop terrace. So when it rains, the water is falling on it. That's why we need to use Dr. Fixit. But if you are doing your normal decking and you are going to build, you're going to have a structure and a roof on top of it, then you don't need to buy Dr. Fixit, right? But if you have a balcony, I mean, the part of the balcony, you can also use it just to prevent, I mean, yeah, but it's not necessary if you are, building and it's going to be a room. If it's going to be a room, you don't need it. But if you have let's say a rooftop terrace, like I said, if it is open and it's going to rain and stuff, then you have to use it. And if you want to know the price, it is in the cost estimate, so you can check it out. And by the way, the prices of materials you are seeing here is, let me say, is the prices from November 2024 to let me say 20th of February 20th 2025, right? So this decking you are seeing was done on the 21st of February 2025. Right. So that is, I just want to put that out there so that you know that the prices that you are dealing with, maybe someone will be watching this in the next 3 months or 6 months, or maybe, next year, at least it gives you idea when this was done. Right. So this is how it looks at the top. Right. The guys are almost done, and you can see how fast it is drying. The concrete is drying. That tells you how rich uh, this work was done. I mean, sometimes also you can use quarry dust. Quarry dust also, makes the concrete dry very fast, very fast. And as I always say here on my channel, if you want to know or check if a good work has been done for you when it comes to concrete casting, always look at the color of the concrete when it is dry, right? You need to see the cement in there. You have to see if it is brown when it's dry, then you have to ask questions, right? You need to ask questions. You can see how rich it is, right? So congratulations to the owner, and I'll also say a big thank you for allowing us, to use your project to motivate everybody out there that it is possible. You can get it done. You can be part of your building journey. You can also make decisions during your building project, and this is how far he has come. And as I said in my previous video, that this was an afterthought. I mean, if you look at the 3D drawing, this wasn't part of the planning, but with time and, going through the journey, he thought that, instead of, getting the wood and the roofing sheet and all that, why not have a decking, like this? And then it creates more space for you. Actually, it creates more space for you. And then later on, the swimming pool came along. I mean, it will cost you the total cost of this, decking is almost a price of a land. Or even let me say it will cost you that, same amount of money to do your foundation, right? So getting this done, meaning you've bought a land and you've done your foundation. So if you put another blocks up there, that means you have a house. So the cost of this decking is equal to buying a land and also having your foundation done. I mean, this is another tip for you right there. But also note that the cost of the splash pool made the whole decking cost a little bit expensive. But if you budget 130,000 to 150,000, you can get your decking also done. I mean, I would say that will even be the price of the land at this location. I mean, in Aburi with this location, you can get land for 200,000 Ghana cedis. But that's just by the way. And talking about land, the house is sitting on a half plot, right? The whole house is sitting on a half plot. So fast forward, this is the next day after the concrete casting. This is how the concrete is looking, and like I said, it's all about the color of the concrete, how rich it is. The color will tell you how rich the work was done, and you can see it for yourself, right? You can see that there is cement in this project. That's why we use a lot of cement here. We use a lot of cement here. So this is how it is looking. So since we are done with the whole decking of the floor, the focus is going to be on the splash pool, because we have to wait for 21 days for the concrete to cure. So during that time, whilst we are waiting, we're going to take our time to work on the splash pool. I mean, we have to prepare ourselves first. So after the 21 days, we can be bringing the sand and stones up here. I mean, that's also another labor work, bringing all those things from the ground floor to up here. So I think in 3 weeks time, they will be able to do all those movements up there, and then they can start taking the board underneath. Then we can start with the casting of the splash pool as well. So let's get back to the cost of the whole house. So here you can see the thickness of the concrete cast, right? So the next day you can just take the board out. I mean, if your concrete is that strong, just the next day you can take the board out, and you can see how amazing it looks right at that corner. I mean, when you see a good job, the work speaks for itself, right? We don't need to tell you what we're doing. And I mean, when you see the work, you see that a good job has been done here. So if you are still watching till this time, meaning you stayed till the end of today's video, and this is a bonus for you. So this is the total cost of the whole house, right? This is the total cost. I mean, the phase one and phase two is the cost of the land and also all the documentation done. I think the phase two also comes with the architectural cost of getting the drawing and everything done. Phase three is when we started with the foundation, so that is the foundation cost, which is phase three. Phase four is the block laying for the ground floor, and then I think the phase five was the pillars, the pillar casting, and all that. And phase nine is the current total cost for the whole house, which is 181,000, Ghana cedis. So this is, how much it has cost this owner to put up this structure. And if you paid attention or if you've been following this project, you notice that we've also done a borehole, right, which is also part of the total cost. We've also done the plastering for the ground floor. We've done all the electricals, plumbing for the ground floor. There's doors in there, installation of doors, burglar proof. I mean, for the ground floor, I would say it is maybe 60% or 70% completed, because I mean you can run that place. There's light, the owner has to buy electrical poles to where the house is. Everything, I mean, everything you see is there. So in our next episode, when we take the wood off, I mean the decking, when we take the wood and everything out after the 21 days, we will have a proper walkthrough for you to see the actual work which has been done. So I mean this is the total cost of this phase. So then I think this brings us to the end of today's episode. I really do appreciate your time spent here on the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next episode. Let's get to it.